Figured I'd come back and show you what I've done so far today. Today we drilled the holes in this channel down there too. You can see right there, this hole right here. And then in the hole here to get the screws, some way to pass through. And then I made a spacer block because with the way the hole for the screw lined up, it was getting really close to this little web, and you can see this web is round right here, and it was going to mess with it. So I figured I put a spacer block that I could bevel, and you can kind of see that bevel there, like that right there, and that gives me the clearance. There's going to be another piece mounted here, and this is what the motor will mount to, and then the Lovejoy will go onto this, and there'll be a coupler, and then this, or the spider, and then the motor will be right here, the stepper will be right here. The lead screw, and I got that all mounted, and then we'll come down here to this side. I have to get clearance, I apologize. And we'll come down here to this side, and you can see this is the flange bearing. Another case of bevel here. And this was the real reason I did, because this flange bearing was perfect size, but was going to hit that bearing, and I didn't want to mess, or hit that web, and I didn't want to mess with modifying the flange bearing again. I've already modified one for my Z-axis, and it would have been alright to do so, I guess, but it was easier to do it this way. This gave me a way to mount, because I thought the flange thickness here of the, or the web thickness here of the channel is under 1/4 inch. It's more like 3/16, and I wanted to have a sturdy way to mount the flange bearing to it, and I didn't want to tap into this, because it's just not enough to get enough threads on it. Even with a number 10 32, that's not a lot of threads. So I went with 1/4 inch holes into this 1/2 inch aluminum that I tapped. I'll take some, I was going to take some pictures of that, I forgot to. Maybe when I get it, if I have to take it apart, I'll take some more pictures. But you can see the screw sticks out a little ways. It's a little long. This was the 48 inch screw. They were sold in 3-foot lengths, or in 1-foot increments, I should say, in 1-foot increments by Chris at CJA Masterworks. He cut me a 4-foot one because I knew this was going to be tight once he milled the other end for the motor mount and the Lovejoy and all that stuff, and the flange bearing and all that stuff. So we got an extra foot, and what I figure I'll do is I'll use that extra foot. I'll probably cut it off about here, and then he sends these, you can see it right there, these little knobs. Let's see if I can grab it without making too many seasick. So he's got these knobs that are nicely knurled, and see if I can get it far enough away that the camera will focus on it. There's that focused. Seems alright. Nicely knurled, and it can go right onto the shaft. That one's got its set screw in a little ways, but it goes on the shaft. I'll put it about here, and I'm probably going to leave myself a little bit of space in case this screw whips any. I doubt that it's going to. It doesn't look like it will, but then I could preload it if I need to. But if I don't put a spring there, what I'll do is I'll turn a collar out of aluminum that fits down inside this hole. This outer does not fit into that inside dimension, so I'll have to do something, either turn this down. I don't think I'd like to do that. I'll just turn a collar that this can push up against to keep the bearing loaded and the screw in place. But that's pretty cool. I can even turn it by hand pretty easily after I put a little bit of it's the lube I use on my metal lathe. It's called molybdenum disulfide or something like that. The brand name is Molly D, and it works really well. It also apparently gets everywhere, so I'm hoping I don't contaminate too much stuff, but so far it didn't put a lot on the screw, and it seems to have gone a very long way. So anyway, that's axis number 1 ready to go, the Y-axis. All I gotta do is cut this shorter and mount that knob, and it'll be ready to play with on this side, and then we'll move on to the X-axis, which will be cutting a hole into that end and all the way over there. And that's it. That's day, I think this is day 25, 24, somewhere in the mid-20s. Anyway, there we go. Thanks for watching.